Hello everybody and welcome back to LEGO Empire, and in today's video I'm going to be going over all of my LEGO Star Wars UCS Death Star predictions, and this is going to be a set that will release in October of 2025. If you're not familiar with the rumor, we're rumored to be getting a UCS Death Star that will cost $1,000 US, which is absolutely insane. It's the first LEGO set of all time to cost $1,000, and I'd say it's definitely the right one to cost that much. I mean, it's a Death Star. It's like one of the most iconic things in LEGO Star Wars. Anyway, that being said, let's get right into the predictions. So, first of all, we are rumored to maybe be getting 40 plus minifigures. So shout out Matthew B. He actually commented on yesterday's video and gave a really solid list for the Death Star and what we could probably expect if we're getting around 40 minifigures. So to start off, we have Luke, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2, and Obi-Wan, all in their respective, episode 4 outfits. And then as well, we have Han and Luke in their Stormtrooper disguises. That's a given. It's probably going to be included. And for some Return of the Jedi-based stuff, possibly we have Darth Vader, Palpatine, and Luke as a Jedi in his Jedi robes. So we could definitely have the throne room battle happening as we see in Return of the Jedi. And then for some Imperial troopers, we have 2 Stormtroopers, 2 Death Star gunners, 2 Navy troopers, an Imperial crew member, an Imperial shuttle pilot, and a Navy officer. And then for some more Imperial officers, we have a Stormtrooper Corps officer with the black outfit, an ISB officer, a light gray officer, Tarkin, Yularen, and the other 6 council room members, whatever their names are, but you all have seen this scene in A New Hope. As well as 2 Royal Guards, so I guess I should have included with the Return of the Jedi section. And then some Imperial droids we've seen in the past, including R2-Q5, R5-J2, R3-M2, and R3-T6, as well as 5D6-RA7, and an interrogation droid and mouse droid. Now, I'm not sure if all of those astromech droids will be included, because having, 4 astromech droids included in the same set, 5, that would be kind of insane, but who knows, it's $1,000 Death Star, might as well. So those are all the minifigures that are likely for Death Star, and it actually comes out to around 41 minifigures, so it isn't at all too unreasonable. If I had to guess, this list is probably pretty accurate, and the best part about this list is the 6 other Imperial Council members, and including Yularen. Getting those guys in LEGO for the first time and getting Yularen again would be amazing. I'm a huge fan of the Empire, as you all probably know by now if you've been watching the channel, so getting these Imperial Council members would be insane because you could recreate the scene perfectly in the Council members, meeting room, which would be amazing for $1,000 Death Star. And then a wish list of minifigs that I would really like to be included, but they are probably not going to be. Starting with the one that is probably the most far-fetched, we have the Force Ghost Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, this kind of makes sense because Obi-Wan dies on the Death Star and becomes one of the Force on the Death Star. So it's possible he's related to the Death Star enough where they could include it, but it's probably very unlikely that a Force Ghost minifig is going to be included. Although, if there is one set they could create a brand new cool minifigure for, a $1,000 Death Star definitely seems like a good candidate. Next up, 2 minifigures from Rogue One we could get are Galen Erso, because obviously he worked a lot on the Death Star and actually created the weakness that allows rebels to blow it up later on. And then Director Krennic, he was the main guy behind the Death Star. It was his idea, his prerogative to really direct all the Imperial funds to make the Death Star, which turned out to not be a good idea. But anyway, that would be amazing to see the return of Director Krennic again in 2025. And getting into some details about the build itself, first of all, about the main build, I really hope, and I don't see how it wouldn't be, a fully paneled Death Star with a full interior. I think that just has to happen. If that doesn't happen, then I'm probably not going to buy this set. Maybe I'll just bricklink a few of the minifigures if they're good enough. I'm not going to buy a $1,000 Death Star if it doesn't have a full interior and isn't fully paneled, because that just wouldn't make sense. And maybe even have the option to remove certain panels and build some of the panels in a way, so if you remove them, you create the Death Star 2. That would be a very cool option. Not sure if LEGO would go with that. It seems like something they could do. That includes a lot of more technical design choices. Who knows? But if we get that, that'd be amazing, because then you can have 2 Death Stars in one set for $1,000, which would be absolutely amazing. But if they need to go with 1 Death Star, obviously the first Death Star is the better choice because it was actually completed, and the second Death Star is very, very, very similar, looking pretty much identical, with only improvements that you can't really tell from the build. Anyway, getting the main build aside, some possible side builds are Vader's TIE Advanced, like a small play scale size or like midi scale type thing, like we've gotten in the past play sets, but maybe a bit more fleshed out now. Maybe it's like the size of the Star Wars Rebels TIE Advanced set we got a few years back, which I believe was like 30 or 40 bucks retail, maybe 50, I don't exactly remember, but something along that size I think could work really well, like a model you could actually have in your collection. Doesn't have to be completely full size, but just not a like complete mini scale set. I think if they make it look good, that would be great. And another possible side build we haven't gotten in any Death Stars before is an Imperial shuttle. So you could do like a midi scale or like smaller play scale. I'm thinking in between a midi scale and a regular play scale would be a good type of scale for a set like this, because midi scale would be kind of too small, but also a full playset would take up a lot of pieces. So somewhere in the middle there I think would work great. And then this is more of a wish list. I don't think this will happen, but something I would really like to see in a set like this is a detailed turbo laser tower that you can like put minifigures in and have a cool interior. Like, wouldn't that be just amazing? Like a larger scale tower that you could display it next to the Death Star. You could just use it separately in your collection. Like, it would be so dang cool. And definitely a more unique side build. I think it's a little bit less likely because including, one Imperial shuttle or Vader's TIE Advance makes a lot more sense logically than including like one turbo laser, because we see multiple turbo lasers on the Death Star. Obviously, like, there's a ton of them, but there's not really a ton of Imperial shuttles or Vader's TIE Advance that we see in the films. Another possible option I've just thought of that's not on my list here is a Millennium Falcon, because obviously Millennium Falcon is, put into the Death Star with a tractor beam. So a midi scale / play scale, like in between there, like I was talking about, in between there for the scale, Millennium Falcon could work very, very well and is a plausible option. And maybe they go with all three of those builds. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, I'm extremely excited for this set. I hope at least some of the things I talked about today come true for the set, especially about the main build. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for my predictions about the 2025 UCS Death Star. Leave a like on today's video if you guys did enjoy, and comment down below what you think this Death Star set's gonna look like, what you think the minifigures are gonna be like, what you think the build is, any possible side builds, any cool features about the Death Star that may be cool, like is there gonna be a big handle or something? I don't know. This set was gonna have to be huge, very heavy, very big for $1,000 and a fully pound Death Star. It's gonna weigh a lot, so definitely some interesting building technique things to think about there. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the set and your predictions. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Have an amazing day. Peace out.